we're going to be a little feisty. I'm not going to lie. We're going to be a little feisty in this one as we welcome you here to Sixers Postgame Live, brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance, Amy Fiddle and Mark Jackson. That one, listen, you can go back to a lot of different things. There was probably a missed call as far as goaltending earlier that would have helped the Sixers. The backcourt violation that was not called. But in the end of the day, obviously, you don't want to leave it in the hands of the ref. And I wish Coach was here because he would have some 2 cents on that as well. But, Mark, you don't want to have that be the deciding factor. You don't want the Zebras to be the ones that make the call. You have it in hand. What did you see from the Sixers overall, despite what the refs may or may not have called?
You know, I thought this was a good fought game. The 76ers in it. You know, every time they got close, Atlanta seemed to take advantage of Sixers' slight mistakes with turnovers in crucial times that led to the opposing team's transition buckets. But I thought we had a chance. I thought we had a chance the last 2 possessions before the last 3 attempt to get good shots. We could have got better, as well as a missed call by the referees that was not called a backcourt on the Atlanta Hawks, which ultimately led to them getting 2 more free throws to put us down by 3. Got to be better. Sixers got to play better in stretches, and the referees got to be better at making calls. You can't fine us.
That's right. We're immune to any fines on that front. And honestly, when we're right, why could you fine us? Because we're exactly right. We're going to show you exactly how right we are. It is our Colonial Nissan game changer, and it is the stretch run for the Sixers. Not a great third quarter, not a great start really to the fourth quarter, but they came alive late. So you're looking at this down 5, 2 minutes to go. Joel Embiid, that's his first 3 of the game, and it came at a great time.
Absolutely. He shot this in rhythm. Grimes coming off, found the pass. He didn't play with the ball. He just caught it in rhythm and put it in. It was nothing but net.
So then you're coming down, and this is Dominic Barlow called for the goaltend. He grabs the net. And that's a legit call. I'll give him that one.
I'll give him that. You know, that was just a mistake. He was going for the ball. He got pushed and kind of grabbed it. But it is what it is. But, you know, Barlow had a pretty good game. He's fought the whole every possession.
So down 4, VJ Edgecombe just taking it right to the rack. Maybe a little bit of a foul call, but the rookie's not going to get that one here.
Young guys don't get these calls. You got to play through it, understand that's the way it is. And unless you're complaining about as a rookie, the more respect you get from referees. Just understand that comes to territory.
And then we're looking at Quentin Grimes. 3-pointer from 24 feet to make it a 1-point game with a minute to go.
That's what he does. He's a scorer. You notice he's always on the floor in clutch minutes because he's a clutch player, and he made that happen right there.
So then you have a couple different things, and then this Paul George misses a step-back 3. VJ comes through for the rebound. Quentin Grimes is going to get a look here.
Right there. I thought PG could have got a better shot, and then this right here. Don't like this. We have plenty of time. Right now, let's get something downhill. We're down 1. We're not down 3.
Right.
You know, I think it's very important we understand time and situation. Right there, we're playing with the ball. Paul George dribbled the whole shot clock out and shot a fadeaway corner shot. Didn't like that at all.
No, I'm with you on that.
And then VJ, being the hustle player he is, gets the second opportunity. We got to take advantage of that. Either, hey, timeout would have been nice, but if not a timeout, let's get a better shot getting downhill.
Yeah, when you force the shot clock all the way down, and that's a tough shot. I know it's Paul George, that's a tough shot. And then, you know, I think Embiid didn't like the matchup, so he passes it back out. And unfortunately, they just don't get another good look. That's a pretty deep, it was about 26, 27 feet, it looked like, from where VJ was, and then, or for Grimes was, pardon me. So here's the inbounds play. They have 2 seconds left. He clearly catches it in the front court and then travels to the back court. And they don't have a replay or a review, pardon me. They don't have a challenge because they had won one, but they had lost their second.
He had possession.
He put a full
He had possession. The referee, first of all, the referee's trying to make an excuse. They didn't see it. You were allowed to have brain farts every now and then, and they had one at that time. Don't make excuses.
So they made the free throws for a 3. This one actually looked good. Quentin Grimes thought we were going to go overtime. So this is the last play. They put 1.5 after the free throws. That's close. That's how close this one was to go into overtime. Tough game, tough way to lose. As I mentioned, you don't want to leave it to the refs. That's where it's going to really stick in it. But I know that Nick Nurse has to be fuming with that because there's a clear backcourt violation when you're looking at 2 seconds left. That's plenty of time for you to, especially from a side out. Yeah. Because you would have had the ball right in front there on the side. You don't have to go the full length of the court, and you could have had some play drawn up to maybe draw the at that point, you didn't even need a 3 because you hadn't had the foul those.
Absolutely,
they actually call VJ for the foul. They don't call the backcourt, so VJ fouls, and they make both of their free throws.
Then you see Nick Nurse, you see every player from the Sixers bench, like, hey, what happened to the backcourt?
He's like, do I have it? You don't have a He catches it right
caught it,
there.
held it in his chest.
1, 2. Like, I know the NFL has rules about what's a catch, what's not a catch, and we still don't know, but that is a catch, that is possession, and that is a backcourt violation. Clearly puts a foot down, dribbles it.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah, that was definitely a missed call. I can't wait for that 2-minute report to come out.
What I need, yeah, and that's my favorite thing about the 2-minute report. I was just telling Mark that it means nothing. It's not even worth the paper it's written on because you can't go back in time.
Exactly. Right there, that was one of the calls the Sixers to win. And every win, like when teams are bunched up like this, Eastern Conferences, each win counts. And when you lose them like that, that could slip you from 4th down to 8th or 9th. It's very important.
And that's where the Sixers enter this game 4th, 1 game separating them and the 9th place Hawks team. That's how close everything is in the East. And I know it's early. I mean, we're only, little over the quarter of way of the season. But when you're trying to position yourselves, force any kind of playoff run, these games, to your point, Mark, really do matter. They matter because you're trying to get yourself to where you need to be, and they can't do it if you're having forces outside of your control work against you. And that's what's going to make it tough to swallow. I agree with you, Amy. Agree 100%. And the interesting thing is, when you got Sixers players that play so well tonight, and you talking about a loss, Sixers, not just Sixers, but players we love our numbers. We love our stats because that's how we get paid, respectfully. But we also like to win. It means more when your stats lead up to a win. When you lose like this right now, it does leave a bad taste in your mouth. Yeah, they dropped to 7th right now. They're 14-11, and the Hawks are 15-12. So their percentage points separating teams 6, 7, 8, and 9 right there. They're all together, 14-11 all the way to 15-12. Those are percentage points because obviously there's a game difference on that one, and that's what's really important what we're talking about. There's a big difference between 6 and 9. 6, you're in. You don't have to think about the play-in. 9, obviously, you have to play 2 games to get to that point. I know it's really early, but we're talking playoffs? I sound like Jim Mora over here, but it is kind of crazy to think about. That's where the Sixers are. You had no Tyrese Maxey, and I thought you had really good games from Paul George and from Joel Embiid. The first double-double of the season for Joel Embiid, and it's a shame that it comes in the loss. Absolutely. He played very well from beginning to end. Both ends of the floor had some key blocks early on and led some stretches by the Sixers. And I thought he was very in tune, and his minutes was up, 30 minutes again. That's wonderful to see. So you like when you see the constant progression by Joel. Yeah, I mean, 22 points, 14 rebounds, 6 of them offensive. That, to me, I think is a really good sign. Those 14 rebounds for Joel Embiid, definitely a season high. It's the first time he's reached double-digit rebounds. Well, I know Nick Nurse has plenty to say after this one. Let's check in now.
I guess, did you like the final shot you got there on the last possession?
Yeah, for sure. It was we needed a 3, and it's pretty good look, goes in and out, right? So yeah, pretty happy with that.
Coach, did you get an explanation on that final foul? Was about a backcourt violation? Did you ask? Did you get an explanation?
I was trying to see if I could challenge the foul and that they could back up to call the violation, and they said I was not allowed to do that. I don't know if that's true or not. I probably should have, since I had 2 left, maybe to look at. He said it wasn't challengeable, that play. But the explanation was he didn't see it as a backcourt.
Nick, I know he talked about the final possession. One after you guys closed the gap to 1, and you made a defensive stop and you came down. Did you like that possession?
Well, I think we had number of good looks in it, right? Couple we didn't take. We took one, got the offensive rebound. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's always one of those where I think when I stop, I want to see if we can get up the floor and hit them before the defense is set. For sure, it settles down a little bit. I mean, there's some chances to take a timeout, and when you don't score, you always want to go back and do it, maybe. But I was pretty happy with, they were moving the ball. They had some looks. They got 2 cracks at it. 2 guys that had just made shots, a bunch of shots down the stretch. So I don't need to look at it again, Keith. But sitting here right now, it was probably okay. Yeah.
You look at Paul. I mean, he just seems like he's starting to find his rhythm, find his groove. He had 35 points tonight, 7 for 10 on 3. Can you just talk about, the lift that he gave you guys?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me, I mean, obviously the 35 is great and the 7 threes is amazing, all that stuff. But to me, I think I like the way he's getting by people, right? He's getting by people down the paint. He's holding off post-ups. He's getting to spots. He's getting clearance on a lot of things. So that's probably the most encouraging. I mean, obviously, that's awesome that he made a bunch of shots tonight, but he just looks like he's creating a lot of opportunities, and he's also a pretty good passer once he gets down the lane, too.
It kind of looked like VJ got off to a slow start, the turnover, 2 quick fouls, and then after that he was able to find his rhythm. I guess maybe what flipped or what's changed for him as the game kind of wore on?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the 2 quick fouls don't help. I think he was 1 for 6 from 3 in the first half, and I think at least 3 of them went in and out, really good corner threes. The strokes there just a little unlucky that those don't go in. He just stayed with it. I thought he was getting hit a bunch driving tonight. He got down to the rim a bunch and he had to finish and get creative. But no, he was really good. I think we kind of had to just weather that first half because of his foul trouble, right? So we did okay. I mean, we kept ourselves in the game. I didn't love the way we started. The first quarter defensively, they made a bunch of shots, or the way we started the third defensively. But the second and fourth, we were digging in and making things pretty hard for them. Yeah.
On the other end of the spectrum, this is 2 tough games in a row now for Justin, and I know you never lose confidence in him. I'm curious, so do you ever kind of maybe tell him anything like hey, keep your head in it or anything like that with him?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think that. I think he's given great effort, right? And that's the one thing I always say I really like about him. Again, I'll look at the film. I know he had a couple really good looks again, but I'm not sure all of the 5 shots were all, great looks, but he is going to space and shoot. So, and we need him. We need him to go out there and play. So, we definitely, again, he'll get going. He'll get going and settle in. I'm sure he will. He's still a very, very young player. Going to go through some moments like this, and this probably won't be the last of them, but he'll get on the upswing for sure.
Kind of piggybacking off of VJ, how do you keep him this aggressive when you have full complement of guys?
Yeah, I think that, again, I think that he needs to continue to do what he's doing defensively and rebounding-wise. I think not necessarily needs to be super aggressive. I mean, it's if the ball finds him in rhythm for shots, those are the ones he's got to take. I'm not saying he needs to be super aggressive and go out there and score a bunch. He needs to be a defensive player, rebounder, opportunity scorer, right? I think that'll help him settle in as well. Yeah.
Nick, can you just talk about Joel? I mean, I know in the beginning of the season it wasn't just not playing them back-to-backs, but you guys wanted to have at least 2 days in between games before he played. Today was only 1 day in between, and he also ended up with his first double-double of the season. What came into that playing him tonight? And then secondly, can you just talk about his performance?
Yeah, so I think that the main thing is Keithy was feeling pretty good after the last game, and probably the schedule has helped a little bit too, both pre and post these 2 games, right? And listen, I thought he had some pretty good opportunities tonight. I thought he had a lot of, again, unfortunate ones, especially some in close to the basket that rolled off here and there. And I kind of wish he would have got to the free throw line a little bit more tonight. I think he had to, as he was driving, which I love. I thought he's getting rerouted some and things like that, and that makes it tough to finish some of those. So I think that's why some of those got rolled off the rim for him.
All right, so a frustrated Nick Nurse. An interesting comment he had to say there about he thought he had a review left. He did technically, but they wouldn't review that because I guess they would only review the foul. They wouldn't go back for whatever reason, 0.5 seconds to see that it was clearly a backcourt violation. Can't wait to see that report tomorrow because it's going to be listed in the 2-minute report. Paul George with a career high for the Sixers, in a Sixers uniform, I should say. So a Sixers career high, certainly not his overall career high, but this is the most he's had since joining the Sixers. 35 points, very good shooting percentages. You can see that over 52% from the field, but 70% from 3, a couple of big ones down the stretch. His play and his Sixers high, well, that's going to be the subject of our Toyota electrifying moment. Paul George, I know it's early, but this is back-to-back games where we've seen kind of remnants of what we expected when they gave him that really big contract. So what are the chances, as we check out our Toyota electrifying moment, that this is the Paul George we're going to see for a majority? I'm not going to say all, but for a majority of the games that he plays in.
I like what I'm seeing so far. He's applying himself. He's demonstrating all his different skills. He's, of course, demonstrating his ability to shoot the ball 7 for 10 tonight, his ability to facilitate for others, but he's scoring on all 3 levels. But his defense, Amy, his ability to get in the passing lanes and cause havoc is special.
And it's very important in a game like this where you have this opponent in particular, a lot of guys who are very long, they have a lot of wing players. That is kind of the norm, certainly in the East when you look at who else is out there. The Hawks, the Pacers, the Raptors, these are some, the Magic, there's some longer teams, and having Paul George play at this level is really helpful.
Absolutely is. We need all the help we can get, especially we got talent like that, like this guy, Paul George, who's a future Hall of Famer, who was a little disappointed in Philadelphia for his performance last year, but now he's looking like, hey, this is what we need.
I also like the volume. It was not that long ago where he only took about 8 or 9 shots. And the last couple of games, obviously Tyrese Maxey hasn't been there. His volume has increased. He was 11 of 21. That's 21 shots. So my question is, going forward when Tyrese Maxey's back, hopefully by Friday, which is their next game, can he still produce that kind of volume with Tyrese Maxey out there?
Top players, Amy, figure out ways to get it going. Like, you might not be on 21 shots, but and Joel might not be 20 shots. They still may be 12 to 15. I don't think they get much less than that. That's a lot of shots. Shoot, for me, I can get some buckets with that amount of shots.
Exactly.
But with that being said, that's still the amount of shot because you got to share the wealth, especially we got guys in the lineup, like also the roster with VJ, Grimes, other guys that can really get some buckets too.
Right, exactly. Those guys.
Efficiency. I'm sorry to cut you off, Amy.
That's right.
Efficiency is the word.
Yeah, 52% from Paul George, but you're looking at Paul George, VJ Edgecombe, and Joel Embiid combining for 62 shots. I really like that kind of volume. And speaking of Joel Embiid, he took 20 shots. He was 8 of 20, 40%, made that big 3. It was his first double-double in this season, so 22 points, 14 rebounds, as I mentioned earlier, 6 of those offensive, which I think is very important, and 2 big blocks. It was an overall really effective night for him. I know the points are a little bit off from what we're seeing, but this is a guy, for the first time in a while, he played in games that were not consecutive, as meaning back-to-back, but they were consecutive games Friday and Sunday. I think that's also a really good sign.
It is. Anytime Joel can get out there and look good, look mobile, look like he has his spark and his legs on him, that's a good sign, Amy. And once again, this is 2 straight games where he's scoring around the rim as well. He's not just hovering around the 3-point line.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. We saw this in the game against the Pacers on Friday. There was a lot more of the traditional Joel Embiid shots where he was, taking them inside and having the mid-range, down in the low post, finishing plays like this. I think those are really important.
Absolutely, and you see right there, even though he didn't have the initial shot, him getting deep position opened up a driving lane for Grimes. Grimes didn't finish it, but Joel put himself in position to get the rebound and put it back in. That's things that we were missing early in the season.
Is that matchup-based for you? Because we haven't seen him down in the low post all that much, and he doesn't always hang out there, and I think that that's just something you realize that that's not where his game is. But the last couple of games, because of maybe the matchup with Jay Huff, Isaiah Jackson, the Pacers, and then Zachary Richichet in this case, that he goes inside a little bit more.
Amy, I don't think so. Let me tell you what I think it is. I believe health plays a part of that.
Yeah, okay.
And conditioning, because I was just having this conversation off camera. Like, it takes a lot. People might laugh, well, that's what you get paid for. Listen, though, when you're a big guy and you get a lot of battle, when you're running that court, guys are meeting you at the 3-point line now. So now to fight from the 3-point line to the box area to establish position as the ball being swung, that's a lot of fatigue. And normally when you're not in great shape, that wears you down. But I think the last 2 games, Joel Embiid has really made an effort to not only post, but to go for more offensive rebounds, which he was not doing until the last 2 games. So that's always plus and another plus added.
Listen, we've talked about it on our pregame show a couple of weeks ago. Like, can he still kind of jump and maneuver around? He apparently heard us and wanted to showcase that he can. So maybe next time we'll just start talking about different things. We'll start talking about his 3-point shot. Maybe then that'll also turn around a little bit, though he did make a pretty big 3 with 2 minutes to go